Would you like to build real wealth? Not rich on paper, not lottery rich, but actual generational wealth. Well, here's the truth. The 30-year fixed mortgage is still one of the most underutilized wealth building tools in America. If you bought a median priced home in 1995 with a basic mortgage and held on to it, you beat inflation, you beat rent, and yes, even challenged the almighty S&P 500. But nobody likes to talk about it like that. So today, I'm going to break it all down. The numbers, the opportunity, the myth busting, and why, if you're in Georgia, especially the Atlanta metro, you need to talk to me or my team at MortgageRight in Woodstock before you miss the next 30-year train. This isn't a hype piece. It's the long game. It's leveraged. Let's start with a case study. March 1995, the median U.S. home price, $130,000, if you can believe that. Average 30-year fixed interest rate, check this out, 8.53%. A buyer putting 10% down got in for $13,000 out of pocket. That's it. Fast forward to March 2025, that home is now worth $520,000 in nominal dollars, a 300% jump. Adjusted for inflation, you're still up over 100% in real terms. And here's the kicker. They only had $13,000 invested. Think about that. A 300% rise on the whole home. But your ROI on the initial down payment, well, that's over 1,000% return. And guess what? Their $900 monthly payment in 1995 became a joke by 2025. Why? Because personal income rose over 300%. That fixed mortgage didn't budge while wages and inflation did their thing. Meanwhile, renters saw monthly housing costs rise over 170%. The 1995 homeowner didn't just beat inflation, they locked in their housing costs while everything else around them just inflated. That's called hedging, my friends, and real estate does it better than almost any asset. What about stocks? Let's address the elephant in the room. Shouldn't I have dumped that $13,000 into the S&P 500? Sure. From 1995 to 2025, the S&P grew about 926%. That's phenomenal. But here's what you're not factoring in. Number one, most people, I can promise you, would not have left that money untouched over the last 30 years. Most people would still be paying rent, assuming we're going down the same scenario. Real estate gives you leverage. Stocks don't initially. It takes time for you to be able to utilize leverage on stocks. So let's be real. That $13,000 in stock market means you're still paying someone else's mortgage via rent. Meanwhile, the 1995 homeowner was forcing equity, not just riding the market growth. Plus, they got the capital gains tax exemption on sale, up to $500K, tax-free. Now, show me a mutual fund or stock that does that. The magic of leverage. A 30-year mortgage is leverage, and leverage is how average people build wealth. You get to control a $400,000 asset with a $40,000 down payment. That's 10 times exposure. So when your house goes up 10%, your equity might go up 30, 40%, depending upon how far along you are. And here's the kicker. You're paying that mortgage back in tomorrow's dollars while earning today's dollars. That's not just smart. That's strategic. This is exactly what investors do every day. They borrow cheap, own long, and let inflation do the heavy lifting. So if you haven't thought about it, let me put this in your mind. What about 2008? It's a great question. Between 2006 and 2011, home prices fell nearly 30%. And that was absolutely brutal. But let's go back to our 1995 buyer. They didn't panic sell. They didn't short their own wealth. They held on. And by 2017, home prices recovered fully. By 2025, they tripled. What does that tell you? Real estate isn't a flip. It's a hold. It's a financial base camp. Real wealth builders don't exit in the storm. They double down on time. Renting versus buying, the opportunity cost game. Let's talk about renting because some of you are still hanging on to that idea that renting gives you this flexibility. But guess what else it gives you? zero equity, zero leverage, zero tax benefit, and 100% exposure to inflation. From 1995 to 2025, rent prices rose over 170%. If you were renting a $900 apartment in 1995, that same unit today is over $2,400. But the 1995 buyer still paying that $900 mortgage, maybe even refinance to a lower rate at this time. Renting isn't a hedge, it's a treadmill. And the longer you stay on it, the harder it is to jump off. If you're in Georgia, anywhere near Atlanta Metro, Cherokee, Cobb, or North Fulton, there's only one name you need to know. MortgageRight, the Darin Hunter team in Woodstock, Georgia. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and my team has 60 years worth of experience combined. I've seen every cycle, every rate swing, every opportunity. If you're not sure whether to buy now, refinance, or map out a plan, you need to call me. You need to call my team. We're not just running numbers. We're helping people build wealth, period. Do me a favor. DM me. Call me today. Let's go ahead and get started. Stop waiting. Start strategizing. Let's futurecast. What's coming in the next 30 years? Baseline scenario. Home values grow at 3.5% annually. Wages rise 2.8%. Mortgage rates will hover around 5.5%. You buy a $400,000 house in 2025. By 2055, it's worth $1.1 million. The bullish scenario, inventory stays tight, AI drives productivity, wages climb, immigration expands demand, 2055 value over $1.4 million. Bearish scenario, we face demographic headwinds, climate migration scrambles markets, growth slows. Even then, a $400,000 house becomes an $800,000 house in 2055. Still doable, but only if you own. Homeownership isn't just numbers. It's psychological. It's identity. It's power. It's knowing your rent isn't going up next year. It's knowing your kid can stay in their school. It's watching your equity grow even while you sleep. It's control, and you deserve it. But you have to play it smart. And that's why you work with an absolute pro, and you can find them here at MortgageRight in downtown Woodstock. Ready to stop renting and start building? Need a strategy, not just a pre-approval? Want a mortgage plan that fits your long-term goals? Contact the MortgageRight Darin Hunter team in Woodstock, Georgia. We're licensed in 27 states. We've got decades. I personally have over 22 years of experience, 23 actually. Your local expert with a national reach. You can apply at applydarinhunter.com. You can DM me at Darin the Mortgage Hunter. Let's map out your wealth plan today. Listen, you can wait for rates to drop or home prices to crash or maybe some magical sign from the sky. But the people who build real wealth didn't wait. They acted, they leveraged, they stayed in the game. This is your moment. Lock it in. Subscribe, like, and share this with someone who is still on the fence. Because the next 30-year story, it could be yours. And that is guaranteed.